Hello, this is Daryl at 10 Foot Truck, Good Attitude Services. And I just got back from a very challenging moving job. Third floor. So if anyone's ever done moving, they know the third floor is always a big challenge. It's a lot of stuff. Well, it wasn't a ton of stuff, but I realized how out of shape I was. And that's the thing about moving. I don't take a lot of moving jobs like I used to, but the one thing that'll test you if you're in shape or not is going on a moving job. It's 3 flights up because it's carrying stuff up. Coming down on 3 flights is not as bad, but going up 3 flights, man, I was just sweated out about a gallon of water. So yeah, I was exhausted. But I was glad I challenged myself. That's one thing I do enjoy about moving. I know a lot of people out there, they refuse to do moving jobs, but because it is much more physically, physically enduring than any other type of service, especially when you're doing things that are up 3 flights of stairs, 3 flights up with no elevator, all stairs, that kind of thing. And luckily I have some decent dollies that climb the stairs pretty good, so that helps a lot. It saves time, but still you're still pulling that dolly up. I know I'm gonna be sore tomorrow, but I'm not working tomorrow, so that'll be fine. But I do enjoy challenging myself like that physically once in a while. I don't think I'd ever do that every day. I can't imagine doing like 3. I used to do that way back when I was younger, but nowadays I don't think I would can imagine doing those jobs every single day. So that's why I prefer to do the junk removal, because most of the junk removal jobs I come across are ground level. I really haven't come across. Let's see. No, I haven't come across any. I got to think about that. Well, see, I live in an area that most of there are apartments and stuff, and I've done junk removal jobs from apartments. But usually, when I show up there, it's always they've always carried it downstairs, so I just grab it from like the parking lot. So most of the time, I'd say 9 out of 10 times, your junk removal jobs on them is in a garage, storage unit, side of the house, driveway kind of thing. You just back up, put it in the truck, unload it. You're not climbing 3 flights of stairs to get all the stuff. I'm sure people do that out there. Just to happen to be around my area, it's a lot more houses and that kind of thing. I mean, that's not like there aren't apartments. There are a lot of apartments, but I just don't get the calls from those apartments. And I tend to think that probably most of the junk removal you're going to do for apartments is just like a mattress removal or a couch removal. So it's not like grabbing a whole 2-bedroom apartment like today. It's like a 2-bedroom apartment and loading. You're never loading upstairs. You're going to load it and come back down. Coming back down the stairs is like so much easier than going up. When you're moving stuff upstairs, it's just like you have to expel so much energy to get up there. It's like you go to the gym every day and still not be prepared for that. I mean, in fact, one time when I was doing moving labor exclusively, I thought I was also much more in shape than I am now, because not only was I doing moving labor every day, I had a personal trainer. I was lifting weights consistently. I was like bench pressing, I don't think I could bench press as much as even close to what I used to. I haven't been to the gym in years. It's been a long time. I should probably get back into the gym, but I haven't done that at all, and so I'm out of shape. Luckily, I'm still doing this physical work, because if I wasn't, I'd really be out of shape. But back then, when I was doing moving labor, I had to keep conditioned. I had to, just like if you're an athlete, you have to train, and so I had a personal trainer, and he was actually a professional competitive bodybuilder. So he trained me hard. He pushed me hard he was always challenging me to to bench harder, to lift harder, to, he really was getting me in good shape, and I appreciated that. And it was a good experience, getting, actually having a personal trainer. Because when you're in the gym by yourself, you never get, it's really difficult unless you're very self-motivating. But for me, I never push myself. I'll go and lift and stuff, but I never push myself. I had to have a trainer push me to get past those what do you call it, those plateaus. So, because I had a goal of benching a certain amount and that kind of thing. I was losing weight, but gaining muscle. But I haven't done that in, I would say the last time I went into a gym, I did it briefly. I went in, but then I canceled the membership. But when I was going consistently, it must have been like 5 years ago. So really kind of out of shape. So when I did that movie, I was like, I realized, I need to start training again, and to do this kind of work, because I probably will continue to do it, because I get a lot of calls for moving. That's just the way it is. If you're advertising a truck or any kind of labor, the people are going to call you about moving, because there's not enough movers. There's probably less moving companies out here than there is junk removal companies. I think more people want to get involved with junk removal than moving, so it's not as competitive. I think that's just my experience. But so I'll probably end up continuing to do moving jobs, because they're going to call me, and it's money, and I won't turn it down. I know how to do it. I got all the proper gear to do that. So probably should get back in the gym. Anyway, I was getting back to that story. So anyway, I had this personal trainer, and I needed a helper to do a move or a couple moves. And this guy was huge. He was like, not as like Schwarzenegger, but he was, the guy was a bodybuilder. So he looked, he's impressive. If you saw him, it's like, yeah, that guy got to be strong. So I brought him on a moving job, and as soon as we showed up at the job, the customers were like really happy. They're like, oh, great, man, you got some strong guys out here. This is going to be great. Well, it wasn't shortly after. It was all upstairs, and when you're going upstairs, it's just carrying dressers and beds and everything else. All that heavy furniture is all going upstairs. And I'm already used to it. I've been doing it for years, so I'm going up like it's nothing. And he's going up the stairs. I'm on the bottom carrying it and getting the most of the weight. And he's just exhausted. And he falls like right back on the stairs and just like lays down. He's completely exhausted. And I was shocked, because like, here's a guy who trains every day. His whole life revolves around physical fitness, and he's a professional, and he's competitive bodybuilder. And he told me, he's like, I didn't expect this work. I didn't expect it to be this hard, because it's also, not only is it lifting, it's massive cardio, and then you're going upstairs, and it's not like a stair climber. You're going up flights of stairs with a dresser, or with a 200-pound dresser, or a king-size bed, or something super heavy. So it's, when you go on those stair climbers at the gym, you're just walking up them. You're not carrying a dresser on your back. So he just couldn't. He couldn't. He was tired. I don't think he didn't want to work with me after that. I'm pretty sure. I can't remember what happened, but he never went on any other jobs with me. He was pretty much like, that's not the kind of work I want to do. And and he told me, yeah, this is completely different. Lifting weights in the gym, and this is just totally different. It's a completely different. It's like a full body. When you're doing moving and you're going up the stairs and you're going, doing those 3 flights of stairs and moving heavy stuff, and just for hours, it's really more like, closest thing I think it's more like CrossFit. Like where you're just constantly moving. I remember my brother saying one time, he's like, you could advertise for your moving labor service. You could advertise, hey, come out and do some CrossFit, and I won't charge you. Or you can actually charge them. You know what I mean? It's just funny, because it is kind of like if you're doing that kind of CrossFit, you're doing the cardio, you're doing the heavy lifting, you're using your back, you're using your shoulder, you're using your biceps, you're using a lot of your legs, you're using, you gotta have good knees. It's hard on the knees. So you have to, it's just everything. Your whole body is working, is physically being pushed to the limit. And so that's the way I felt after that job. But then I felt relieved, and felt like I accomplished something. So I'm not going to complain. I just know my physical limits, and I know that I could probably do those just once in a while. like maybe once a week or once every couple of weeks. But I remember I used to do that every day. Not only that, we used to be dispatched. We would do sometimes 4, 5, 6, I don't know. We start sometimes when I was working full time as a mover for a moving company. We'd get on the trucks at 6 o'clock in the morning, and we'd be on those trucks sometimes till midnight, and we were dispatched one job after another, and so it would be like what I did today, doing that times 4, or maybe 5. I couldn't do that now. After that job today, I was enough. I was like, okay, I'm gonna get something to eat. I'm gonna relax. Maybe I'll do a video and then sweep out the truck and call it a night. And so that's kind of where I'm at right now. But yeah, it's a tough job. But gotta do what you gotta do. I'm glad I'm able to still do that kind of work at my age. I don't know how much longer I could do that, but I do have friends. Like I have a friend that I used to move for, and he's a bit older than me, and he's still out there. He's still out on the trucks. So yeah, you can do it as long as you want. But I think I'm gonna kind of just go more towards junk removal, and not that that's not hard physical labor either, but it's just nothing like going up 3 flights of stairs with dressers and stuff like that. So yeah, and the weather was good, as the weather was actually not that bad today, where it was fairly cool. I mean, in the 80s, which has been, it's a lot cooler than normal, because normally it'd be 90 or 100. But towards the end of the week, it's going to get back up into 100. So I wouldn't want to be out there doing that at 100 degrees. No, I remember doing one. Oh, it was like 104 outside, and we were unloading a 30-foot ABF trailer, and those things are like 9 feet tall and all that, solid packed with heavy stuff, and it was unbelievable. I mean, because inside the trailer itself, it was like 120. I felt like, so I was just completely drenched in sweat. Yeah, no, I wouldn't do that again. And that was a nightmare. But I'm sure people do that. People out in Phoenix, out in Tucson, and Las Vegas, they have to, because the summer is when people move, and that's the season. And if they're doing that for a service, moving, if that's their job, they're out there in 110. They get used to it. I was in Vegas one time, and I remember going outside because of course it was a nice air-conditioned hotel or motel, whatever it was. And I was next to a park, and I went outside, and I hear these people, they were playing soccer, or I don't know, I think it was soccer or baseball. And it felt like it was 115. It might have been even more than that. It had to be like 115 degrees. It was so hot, it was like being in an oven outside. And these guys are running around playing soccer. So I figured, well, people who live in those places, they just get used to it, and it's not like they're just acclimated to that kind of weather. But not me, no. 100, no. I'll work in 90 and below. But when it gets 100, I'll take the day off. And around here, it only gets, 1 year it did get 100, over 100 for quite a long time, but for the most part, it's just like a week or so, maybe a couple weeks. That's about it. The rest of the summer is pretty much in the 80s and 90s, and we're heading out of the summer, so it's not gonna get any hotter. I think it's gonna cool off. And this time of year is the best. August, September, early October is absolutely the best weather. I'm looking forward to it. It's great. It's awesome weather to work in, and I usually do quite a bit of work. I usually get really good jobs in September and October, because everyone's getting ready because when the winter hits here, you don't want to do much. So people are getting rid of their stuff. They're organizing. So you get a lot of work in October and November, right before winter. So I'm looking forward to that time, and that's about it. But so far so good. I've been doing a lot of mattress removals before I did this moving job, and I went to my storage unit, got all the stuff that I've been storing there, and I thought for sure it was going to be much more money to take it to the dump, because it was like 4 loads of like 4 jobs that I had done. I had like a couch, I had 4 or 5 mattresses, and it wasn't that bad. I only paid like $27 at the dump, and so I saved a lot of money because I just stored it up there at the storage like I was talking about earlier, and then taking that one load and dumping it. It wasn't much more than the minimum wage. It wasn't much more than the minimum fee at the dump. The minimum fee is almost 20. Before a full truckload of that, I think I had pretty much a full truckload. It was only 27, so I thought that was pretty good. I think it was probably a little over 400 pounds. The mattresses were fairly light, so hopefully I get some more of those. I like those mattress removals. So I got to get back to marketing. We're still at the beginning of the week, so things should start picking up again. So I hope everybody out there is doing great. This is Good Attitude Services, 10foottruck.com. Have a great day.